Terracana, Chapter 3, Confrontation. I yawn and slowly open up my eyes. It feels like I'm on a very comfortable bed. I guess Twilight and Rainbow brought me up here. I look around and notice another bed to my left, blue sheets and yellow stars on them. I sit up on the bed side and stretch. That had to be one of the most pleasant naps I had in a long while. I stand up and walk over to the door. I open it and head down the stairs to see Twilight sitting at a desk looking over some sheets of paper. I quietly sneak over to her and spot Rainbow on the couch. She sees me and I place a finger on my lips to hush her. She grins and looks over at Twilight. I keep on walking and look over Twilight's shoulder. It looks like the note she took on my magic. I cough to clear my throat, which makes her jump with a yelp. Rainbow starts laughing as Twilight glares down at me. "That wasn't very nice," Twilight scolds me. "Sorry, but I couldn't resist." "So what are you up to?" I ask her. "I'm just going over the notes of what I've seen so far." "Are you ready to show me the rest?" she asks. "Sure." I feel relieved. My mana is fully charged. "Same spot as before," I reply. Rainbow. "Do you want to watch as well?" Twilight asks her. "Sure, it will be fun," she replies. Headed back out where I continued where I left off. "Right, we were doing beam spells, right?" "That's right," Twilight replies. "Okay, well, you saw the target version of the life element. So here's the area and self ones." I say and channel a life element set out and buzz around me. Some of the damaged grass regrows around me. I channel again and cast it on myself. A green glow engulfs me and fades. "This next one is the arcane element," I say and channel the element. I cast it and a beam of blood red and black energy flies out from my palm. It hits a tree which starts to expand. A few seconds later, it couldn't handle the pressure anymore and shattered halfway up the trunk. I quickly set up an earth wall. Splinters and chunks bounce off of it. The other two were far out of range though. I look over the wall and chuckle nervously. Top of the tree, meters away from the stump with bits of wood everywhere. "I think it might be a good idea to stop for now," Twilight says, shocked. "Aw, that was so cool," Rainbow says. I agree with Twilight. If anyone else was nearby, they might gotten hurt, I reply, and walked over to them. Twilight writes down a few more things, then looks up at me. "Were you some kind of soldier where you were from?" she asks. "No, I'm what's considered a battle mage. I use half-plate armor with a sword and staff. I was actually heading towards the capital city to learn at the academy there," I replied. "Wait, so how did you learn what you know now if you didn't go to a school?" Twilight asked me. "It was mostly self-taught books. The town's elder is a retired mage. He helped teach me a few things as well," I tell her. "And how long did it take you to get where you are today?" she asks. "Just over 6 years. But that was while I was traveling and working as well. I'm still learning and training. My mana reserves are still considered low, and I only can combine 2 elements at a time," I reply. "Now that I don't know where I am or how I got here, I guess I'll just keep training myself," I tell her. "Yeah, I remember that book." "Twilight, where's my book?" I ask her. "Oh, that's right, follow me," she says, and we head back inside. She walks over to her desk and pulls the book out from a drawer. "Here you go," Twilight says and hands it over to me. I open it in the middle and see an element I never saw before. It looks like a tornado within a circle. "L. This element has the ability to conjure razor-sharp blades of air to cut through the caster's enemies. To cast this element, one must have a clear and tranquil mind, as miscasting could result in cutting the caster apart instead. As I'm reading, Twilight looks over my shoulder, only for the text to suddenly vanish. See, it's blank, she tells me. Actually, there was text, but I think I understand what that stranger meant by reading it alone now. I reply. So, you're the only one that can read it? Twilight asks me. Seems that way, I reply, which makes her frown. I guess by the amount of books she has, that not being able to read a book is quite frustrating for her. What's the book about? There's no title on it, she asks. It's a book about my kind of magic, even elements that no one knows of anymore, I tell her. Her eyes widen and she heads over to the desk and starts writing again. I walk over to the couch and begin reading more of the book. Rainbow sits beside me and reads her own book. After a few minutes, I finish up reading on the element of air and decide to try channeling a single element. But before I could do that, the library door suddenly burst open and those guards from earlier swarm inside. What the buck? Rainbow yells and jumps behind the couch. I quickly got up and dropped the book on the couch. I hold my hands out ready to defend myself again if I have to. What you doing? Twilight says to them angrily. We got reports of the creature using illegal magic in the area. The guard I first knocked out at the hospital says, with an almost smug tone while looking at me. He seems to be sporting a black eye from where I punched him. We have to detain the creature until the apprentices arrive to deal with it personally, he says. I frown at them. I warn you again. I do not wish to fight, but should you attack me, I will not hesitate to put you on your ass again. I threaten them. I see Rainbow grinning up at me as Twilight looks very worried. I noticed the window that Rainbow crashed through was just big enough for me to dive through. The guards start charging towards me, so I run towards the window. I dive through head first and roll as I land. The guards storm out of the library and rush at me. I channel the same shield element and earth spell and create a weak suit of stone armor from the stone in the road. They stop their attack and try to surround me. The other residents of the town look at us with very curious or fearful expressions. I channel a water element in my left hand and a cold element in my right. I do not want to kill them, but freezing their legs to the spot might be enough to stop them. Quickly cast the water spell and soak them all. They start laughing at me, so I cast the cold spell and aim for their legs. They gasp and start chattering their teeth as their legs are covered in solid ice. I look up and see the two winged guards charge down at me. I cast an area effects shield spell, creating a dome around me, and boost it to full strength. The two guards slam into it, which causes the shield to crack all over. The guards slid down the shield to the ground with dizzy expressions. The shield then shatters. Twilight comes out of the library and sounds very angry. What in Celestia's name do you think you're doing? He's been nothing but friendly so far, and I asked him to demonstrate his magic for me, she yells at the guards. One of the guards I haven't came across before speaks up. But he was using illegal spells, says through chattering teeth. Then that's my fault. He came from someplace where his magic may be very well common. Now you will all stand down before I report you all to Princess Celestia myself, she threatens them. They all look at her wide-eyed except for the one with the black eye. I pick up a spear. One of the winged guards drop. The Twilight sees this and speaks up with alarm. Adrian, put the spear down. Don't make it any worse than it already is. She pleads to me. I frown at her, then to all the guards. I shy and drop the spear and walk over to Twilight. Adrian, can you thaw him out, please? She says and point at the guards. I grumble and comply. I cast a single fire element and thaw each one of them out except for the one with the black eye. What about me, creature? he says coldly with chattering teeth. I look at him for a few seconds, frown. Nope, I simply reply, and walk back into the library as the other guards were rubbing their legs to warm them back up. Once inside, I sit back down and go back to reading my book. Rainbow sits beside me again. Dude, that was fucking awesome! Where did you learn to fight like that? She asked me. I looked from the book to her. The guards in my hometown actually taught me how to fight physically, while our elder taught me magically. I am by no means the best, but I know enough to survive, I tell her and turn to my book. Rainbow hums in thought. How old are you? She suddenly asked. Without looking back to her, I reply, 20. I hear the clanking of armor and look outside to see some of the guards watching me. I ignore them and continue reading on how successfully use the L element. I follow the instructions and a white orb orbits my hand. I look at it for a while before it starts to destabilize. I quickly cancel the element before it got out of hand. I look back at the book to see what I did wrong. The text suddenly vanishes. What you reading? A female voice says over my right shoulder. Gah! Pinky! Rainbow says startled. I look over my shoulder and see a pink-furred woman, really poofy dark pink hair. She's wearing a white and pink striped shirt, light blue short overalls. Oh, hiya, Dashy! This pinky person says. So what's your reading? Looks like a sketchbook. Draw some pictures? She asks me. No, it's a spell book. Looks like I have to wait till it's quieter before I can read anymore. How did you get in here? I ask her. Through the front door, silly, she replies. I didn't hear the front door open, and I doubt the guards will let anyone in or out. I ignored the strange woman and looked at Twilight. What's going to happen now? Those guards are still out there, I ask her. She looks up from her notes. I'm not sure. I could send a letter to the princess to see really is on her way, she replies. Well, as long as those guards don't try attacking me again, I don't mind, I say. Spike! Twilight calls out. Spike walks in for the kitchen. What? I'm trying to make some sandwiches for you guys. Oh, hi, Pinky, he says. Hiya, Spiky! Pinky replies to him with a wave. I need you to send a letter to the princess, Twilight tells him, and she starts writing a letter. After a couple minutes, she hands Spike the letter. He takes a deep breath and blows a green flame onto the letter, which turns into ash and flies out of the broken window. For the next 10 or so minutes, Twilight asks me questions about where I'm from. I told her about my homeland of Hindonia and the town I was born in. I didn't say anything about my parents, but its life is like in the quiet little town, about how my kind of magic was used. So you even use the life element of your spells to heal dying crops? She asked in wonder. Yes, if it was damaged by pests, it would repel the damage caused by it, I replied. Twilight was about to speak again, but Spike interrupted with a loud belch, and a scroll forms from the flames. Bah! Nice one, Spike, Rainbow says. Twilight levitates the letter that formed over to her and open it. She reads it and gasps, look at me, then back to the letter, then back at me with a nervous smile. Something wrong, I ask. Nope, nothing at all, she quickly says. Rainbow, Pinky, could I have a word with you two in the kitchen? She says to the women next to me. Sure, Rainbow says and stands up, leaving her book on the little table in front of her. See you in a bit, dude, she says to me with a confused tone. Not like I got anywhere else to go to, I say with a chuckle. Pinky just giggles and skips into the kitchen, humming a tune to herself. I notice Twilight left the letter on her desk, so I stand up and head over to it. I pick up the paper and read it. Dear Twilight, I'm afraid you may be in danger. If he's really a human, as you say is he, then you need to keep him there while Luna and I make our way to Ponyville. The last human to enter Equestria 1,000 years ago brought an army of undead with him. We sealed him in stone and locked him away, but the damage he caused scarred the lands now known as the Badlands. If this new human is anything like the last one, all Equestria is in danger, especially if he has a book of ancient human magic with him. Get there. Please stay safe. Princess Celestia. Frown at the letter. I am being judged actions of another human from millennia ago. If I stay here, I could be in prison, sealed away like the last human, or worse, killed. Or I have to try and escape before the princesses arrive. I hear 4 gasps and see the 4 of them staring at me with the letter in my hand. Spike looks afraid, while Rainbow looks conflicted. Twilight looks nervous, while Pinkie just looks confused. I sigh and wave the letter in their direction. So what's this about a necromancer about 1,000 years ago? Am I really being judged actions of another? I ask him. Rainbow speaks up. That's what I've been trying to tell you, Twilight. I don't think you're a bad guy. If you were, you wouldn't hear my wing, she says. Yeah! Pinkie decides to speak up now. My picking sense isn't getting anything from here neither, she exclaims. Pinkie sense? Twilight looks between them then to me. I'm sorry, but the princesses want you to stay here for when they arrive, she tells me. I sigh. If I'm going to earn their trust, then I have to show them who I am. Alright then, I'll wait here and have a word with your princesses when they arrive. I am not here to cause any trouble, I say, and sit back down on the couch. Twilight walks over to her desk and pulls out a black ring drawer. Can you put this on your finger? It will stop you from casting any spells and mean no harm, she tells me and holds it out to me. I look at the ring with a raised brow. I slowly take it and examine it. It has some strange silver woods or runes inlaid in the side of the ring. I sigh and place it on my right index finger. I try to channel a seal element to my right hand, and surprisingly, it orbits my hand, making Twilight gasp and grab my hand. What? But how? She'll be blocking your magic from being cast, she says. Maybe it only blocks the unicorn magic. Remember, my magic is different, I tell her. She looks at me worriedly. Can you cast one of your life elements to see if you can cast a spell, not just channel an element? She asks. Okay, I reply and cancel the seal spell and channel a life element. I point my palm at the guard, looking through the window, and cast my spell at him. A thin green beam hits him on his forehead, making him yelp. He tries to back away, but drops out of sight with a oof. I hear Rainbow, Pinkie, and Spike laughing as I look back to Twilight and shrug. It didn't feel any different, I tell her. She frowns and takes the ring off my finger and puts it on herself. She tries to cast a spell, but the ring glows in a silver light and her horn stops glowing. This doesn't make any sense. These rings cancel all magic, not just unicorn magic. For this to make sense, it would mean her eyes widen. You're not from Equus, she says. Equus? I was confused. Yes, Equus, the name of the planets, she replies. My eyes widen at the implications. That can't be right. Everybody knows the world is called Terra, I tell her. Then I am right. You're from a different world, she yells, fear mixed with excitement. I just stare dumbly at her. I'm not on Terra anymore? What the hell did that stranger do to that book? I pick up the book and check the first few pages. Indents, and nothing about interplanetary or dimensional travel. The last few pages just biography of the maids who wrote the book, someone named Starswell to build it. I closed the book and placed it back on the table. I placed my face in my hands and sighed. I'm guessing I'm not going to get home anytime soon. I felt a hand on my right shoulder and looked up to see Twilight with a sad smile. Don't worry. Maybe the princesses can find a way to send you home, she tells me. I just sit back for an unknown amount of time, thinking to myself. A knock on the door gets our attention, and Twilight goes to answer it. Is he contained? A voice sounded like it belonged to an angel spoke. Not really. He's just sitting on the couch, princess, Twilight replies to her. Twilight steps aside as a woman my height with fur as white as freshly fallen snow walks in. She has deep magenta eyes and a long multi-toned hair and a tail of green, blue, light purple, and pink that waves as if in a breeze. She has a long horn on her head and large wings on her back. A dress of white and gold adorns her slender form. A crown of gold with an amethyst gem in the center atop her head. I look at this woman, captivated by her. She locks eyes with me and speaks with a demanding tone. Who are you?